and not having to go out to have your just some sort of.
I don't think the technology was quite there yet. I wrote about it quite a bit at the time. And
for starters, what should I call you?
I'm Chloe.
Erika is, I think, most beautiful and most, human-like, autonomous android in this world.
I would say not moral panic, but there was a lot more discussion about it. They said the robots are coming.
Delighted to meet you, John.
Could you tell us a little about yourself and what you can do, Chloe?
In this year's demo, the robot utilized a system for singing using a human singer as a model.
Evolution of girlfriend robots. The first time people heard about a girlfriend robot was probably around 10 years ago. It went viral, showcasing an early version of a girlfriend robot. Picture this, a silicone face with a wig on top, and she was eating a banana, although not actually consuming it. Essentially, it was a head attached to a stick, covered with a sheet so you couldn't see the rest of the robot, just the face. The manufacturer eventually reveals it's essentially an elaborate broomstick. What intrigued people was despite its hilariously bad appearance, there was evidently a market for it. Many people were interested in watching this video, and individuals were actually buying this peculiar product. Fast forward about 5 years, and a substantial discussion emerged. The phrase, "the robots are coming," became more prevalent. Some people don't think the technology is quite there yet, but now it is written extensively about it at the time. Now, predictions suggest that in another year or two,
How many people are single today, and how many men have gone like more than a year without any sex?
Yeah, and I'll say she was eating a banana, but she wasn't actually eating a banana, and it was
Constantly stimulated by this artificial realm that you exist in when you're playing Call of Duty.
I draw using cameras in my eyes.
basically like this head attached to a broomstick and had a sheet over it.
And
the stats here, it's like 30% of male millennials and 20% of women. But now you fast forward, I think it was like 5 years ago, there was a huge
intellectual or some sort of a social discourse
connection.
fulfilled in your life.
these robots will significantly enter the mainstream, being incorporated into everyday life. Considering the prevalence of social media, the internet, and AI becoming increasingly mainstream and ubiquitous, we wonder about the implications when these robots are integrated into human life. What happens when the technology becomes so advanced that these robots are more human-like, capable of meeting people's emotional and perhaps even physical needs? Could it potentially affect our reproductive habits? Perhaps the AI's plan isn't to exterminate the human race, but to present appealing options, leading us to cease reproducing altogether. It's somewhat reminiscent of what we've seen with video games, online interactions, and the internet. The statistics reveal a substantial number of single individuals today, with around 30% of male millennials and 20% of women reportedly going more than a year without any physical activity. The internet seems to be their chosen alternative. Constantly stimulated by this artificial realm, individuals find intellectual and social fulfillment in online interactions without the need to venture out.
And you, what's your name?
Oh, John. My name is John.
Okay.
Now they're saying in probably another year or two it's going to be really coming in terms of
It's to not exterminate the human race, but to give them options so that they just.
early version of a sex robot, but it was like the silicone face with a wig.
Yeah, I think there's going to be people that reject it. There's going to be people that enjoy going outside, and it's going to be, and it is now.
But this is the first time in history that man has created a machine more intelligent than himself.
The face of it, but then the manufacturer shows you it's just like a
Landscape of human connections. The question arises, can AI video games truly substitute genuine human connections? Not wanting to meet in person. What do you think about the idea that connecting with people online will finally take the place of face-to-face interactions? We think it will help a lot of people. Yeah, there will be people who don't like it, and people who do enjoy being outside. It's now a trend for people to post on social media while hiking and tell other people to put down their phones and experience the real world. But a lot of time, it doesn't work out for people who are uncomfortable with that. A big worry is that we'll become extinct and be replaced by an artificial life form. We find out that biological beings are limited in how quickly they can evolve physically. For example, it takes a long time to go from a single-celled organism to a professor at Harvard. So, talking to more people who are in the industry working on this stuff, because we know many people they're doing it secretly and hiding, because there is so much stigma around doing anything with an application to be intimate or physical. So people who work in technology, they will usually have one business that is doing really well that's forward-facing, and then they'll usually use that same technology in the physical capacity. But that side of things they don't really advertise. And they don't really talk too much about it until they trust the person. But people are curious to understand, to know, what is it like working in that industry and what direction is the technology going in, and also to want to understand what's actually happening and what's going to be the result of that. Because you see people who were really upset a couple of years ago saying like the robots are going to increase physical crime.
The popularity that these robots are going to be incorporated into everyday life in some cases. Because when I think of
Completely stop reproducing, make the options far more attractive. And in a way, we've kind of done that.
I mean, the first time I heard of a sex robot was probably maybe 10 years ago, and it was this.
Erika is, I think, the most beautiful and most, human-like autonomous android in this world.
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person.
I would say not moral panic, but there was a lot more discussion about it. They said the robots are coming.
I gather your brain can perform several billion operations per second, is that right?
Social media, the internet, AI, like you said, is becoming so mainstream and so ubiquitous.
What is taking the place of them going out and trying to find a mate?
They're going to make people objectify women and think that for people who already have those views about women, maybe they might be a little bit more not so nice. But we don't think the average person is going to be turned into this horrible monster because of this technology. Now it's becoming so mainstream. Well, don't you think that just like social media kind of stunts people's ability to communicate in real life, that girlfriend robots will stunt people's ability to have a real meaningful romantic relationship with someone? Just think, if you've never been with someone, or if you are particularly selfish, probably because previously you thought most people would prefer a real-life person to a robot, and also because the technology is so far off that the early prototypes of these robots were not really that convincing. So thinking that we'd go to a point where it would be comparable, but we are. We are getting there. What are the latest girlfriend robots that we can see? They look pretty good physically. They're not made of human flesh, but they look a lot like people, and you can customize it.
And it was, I don't know if either of you, Jamie, have seen this video, but it went viral, and it was this.
Like with video games, and video games and just being online.
Interested in looking at this video, and also that people were buying this product.
What is it? Well, it's the internet. It's video games. It's being.
Delighted to meet you, John.
Could you tell us a little about yourself and what you can do, Chloe?
Video, and a bunch of people, I was in graduate school, sent me this video because I knew I was studying sex.
But it's only through this weird surface way.
Even though it looks so hilariously bad, not avoidance of in-person connection, but that fulfillment of connection through a broomstick. So what I thought was interesting is that
I am named after Ada Lovelace.
Alluring features. Some of you think it's weird that they call them strike-driven robotic dolls, but according to the sex neuroscientist, they're here to be your perfect companion. Our time together will be magical, and you'll have never met someone like us before. We have amazing, never-before-seen features like a modular head system that lets us make a wide range of expressions. We blink, move, and talk, and we do it all just for you. Our faces can be easily switched to suit your needs. It's funny because, as a former sex researcher, this has never affected her at all. But are they moving? That's the thing. Those were all just stationary. Yeah, currently they're stationary, but so they're stationary and they just talk. It says there's some sort of articulation, but we mean upwalk articulation articulate, but thinking they will be able to move on their own in the coming years. Because this used to be just a doll, and now it moves around a little.
Of course, I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife.
It's a thing where, people post on their social media, they're out hiking, and they're giving people advice like, hey,
I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or...
In this year's demo, the robot utilized a system for singing using a human singer as a model.
In a lot of cases, it's falling on deaf ears because it's not as fulfilling.
And so you couldn't see the rest of the robot, you just saw that.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test.
For people that are, very...
The neck moves. Articulating neck reel doll can turn left, right, up, and down the body the reel skillfully with finest details. Although it's not equipped with animatronic parts yet, it can be positioned in MO moved in hundreds of positions. So the bodies can't move yet, but the heads can move. But that's just a matter of time. How much do they cost? Well, it depends on how advanced you want it to be. $8,000 to $8,000. There are different prices. Okay, so that's the state of the art. Well, 600 isn't even a full thing. It's just a full head. At some point, we'll probably be looking at a girlfriend robot that looks like the woman from Ex Machina and probably knows how to manipulate you and play games with you. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.